call saying Ryan Reynolds would like to get in touch with you and talk with you about a John Candy documentary. And so Ryan and I hopped on the phone and had a lovely conversation. We spoke for, God, I think it was like an hour, 2 hours, something like that. And just sort of talked about the process of docs. You know, I had made 2 other documentaries prior, so this is definitely something that I've spent a lot of time in. And we were just sort of talking about, okay, if there was to be one, because I said, look, I think there should be a John Candy documentary. I just don't know what that is, and I need something a little bit. You know, I need a goal. You know, I need to have a theme. And if you give me some time, let me think on it. And to his credit, he said, take as much time as you need. And at that point, I reached out to Jen and to Chris and spoke with them and said, hey, is Ryan Reynolds guy legit? Is he pass the family test? And they said, yes, please. And so, based on that conversation and a bunch of research, I eventually called Ryan up a few months later and said, yeah, I think I've got a take that is worth at least, you know, sort of beginning. Because with documentaries, there's a certain amount of detective work.
Right.
You know, you have a general theme that you know you wanna land on, but you don't want it to just be a Wikipedia entry. You want to make sure that it's an actual, real, total film that has characters, that has an arc, that has something that is relatable. And with this, obviously, we knew that it needed to feel like a John Candy film. You know, it really needed to sort of be that bookend, that end of the chapter. And so I spent a lot of time really trying to find what would be the sort of this, what is John's story that was not, you know, very well known. And once I started digging into his, you know, his family history, and obviously him losing his father at his young age, as well as, you know, learning about his struggles with mental health and anxiety, I said, this is all stuff that I relate to as a man in my 40s, and so that to me seemed worthwhile. And then as you